fact of the matter is, what Bush did and what Reagan did was to say, all right, we missed it. The Congress missed it. They should have put the families of these
But they were working with Congress. That's the difference, Bob. They were working in conjunction with Congress.
And what Obama did was to take, it was in the same vein, was to take these people and put them in, because the Congress of the United States is dysfunctional, which is in the hands of Republicans. That's an oxymoron. But
they weren't for a while there. We're not even. We're not even. Who was in charge in the beginning? That's how we got Obamacare.
Passed it. The Republicans refused to pass it.
He's a
what did he do when he had both houses, please? Oh, crazy.
President Obama is a lone wolf litigator. He's not working with Congress. He's working on his own. That's the difference between Reagan and Bush.
You know, certain points. Well, I would argue about that, but at certain point, you have to say that when you try to work with Congress, you look at this Congress, you can't work with them. That means you have to try everything within the law. You go around this, and this is within the law.
As the President of the United States, why is he doing this? What's the reason behind it?
Not the right to do it.
But is...
Come on! What the fuck is going on?
American, wait, if you ask the American people yesterday, the poll we just said that 48% of people oppose executive action.
Correct, 38%.
If you put on that poll that these people that will stay have got kids who are here, who are on the dream group, or kids who were born here, then I think the support would go way, way up. Look, the underlying poll numbers here said that people support the idea of immigration.
Yeah, of course, but that's not immigration. That's granting amnesty to people who came here illegally. And that's a difference.
By the way, your rap on your monologue said that what about the poor people that walk out of the line and the rest of it? These people get behind them.
How do we know? Are they going to get that?
No,
they
Where are you getting that from?
They don't, because they're not being deported. They're absolutely not being deported.
You understand this?
Yeah. So you're going to... My wife had to do all this stuff before she came to the United States. You're going to say
do it all.
He's granting party to 5 million people. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's granting them the right.
No, you have to call it party, because if you say amnesty, he's breaking the law.
Why is he breaking the law?
What if he says, I'm against the fines for drugs?
Then why was Reagan breaking the law?
What? He was.
He was. Okay, Reagan was. Okay, glad you said that Bush was.
Doesn't make it right now, though.
Okay, I admitted those Reagan Bush broke.
So it's okay. It's okay to do it now.
We don't admit that. You're not listening to us.
Stop blaming Bush.
I don't know
No,
what
I
you're
think you guys always say that.
I want to say it, Dan. I want to throw it to a sod of some angry conservatives, because we don't have enough of them. And then I want to get your take on what Republicans should do next. Let's roll this tape, please.
Do it.
He needs to remember who he works for. It looks more like a dictatorship when a president is unilaterally making decisions for the American people.
History will treat him unkindly on this if he thinks he can become king.
We are unfortunately witnessing a constitutional crisis. It's incumbent on Republicans in Congress to use every single constitutional tool we have to defend the rule of law, to rein in a president so that the president does not become an unaccountable monarch.
This president went from once talking about the audacity of hope to the audacity of the power grab.
What should Republicans do?
I might be an outlier on this. Ooh, okay. I think Republicans are really boxed in.
Really?
And I do. Because I don't think that we'll have the answer to the constitutional question for years. At this point, the president, I think, has the prosecutorial discretion to do what he's doing. I think that they'll figure out a way. The lawyers will give him some cover on that. And besides, by the time it gets to the courts, then who's going to be the person that stands up and says they're going to take away this from the five?
That's what he's counting on.
Here.
Exactly.
Definitely. And also, when President Obama came out the day after the election, he said that the real lesson from the midterm election was that Washington must work together. From a political standpoint, I agree. It is a strange way to react when your first action is to do something that is absolutely poisoning the well to get a lot of other good things done. What I do think the Republicans will do is to keep their heads. Okay, there's a lot of other legislation that needs to get done from a jobs perspective. Jobs. I don't understand why the administration is not just going ahead and doing the 12 million. Because once you do 5, why don't you just do 12? Because then it's a question of what's humane and what is fair. And so maybe they'll figure out a way to do an end run around that. But I do think that the Republicans, you cannot stop the president from doing it.
You know, I was so curious about, forget the guy's name who did that. It was the czar of Obamacare. But anyway, it's not the American people. The first 42 members of the Congress that were invited down to the White House when Obama was elected were Republicans. And he wanted to work with them. And did they work with him for 6 years? They did not.
Baloney. Bob, I mean, that is... Bob, that is...
Parallel universe.
Yeah.
It's just,
And it's a real-
I mean, you're a lot more thoughtful than that statement.
Oh, wait,
Yes,
he
you are.
invited them down to try to work with them.
And then gave him the you-know-what every day after that.
Yeah, but you're going to get blamed.
Be very cordial. You can say, I want to work with you. Meanwhile, when you have the House and the Senate in your pocket, it doesn't matter what you say you're going to do. It matters what gets legislated. We got Obamacare. Almost got
Come on, you are smarter and more thoughtful and more well aware than that.
I believe
It's gonna argue against that.
I believe firmly that the President of the United States made an effort to work with Republicans.
And well, okay, you know what? You can believe that, but more than half of the country thinks that he did not.
Well,
and
half the country
more than-
for second term, did they?
Yeah, but everybody that wanted that watched it, most presidents get a second term. It's very rare that they don't. But in the midterm elections, that answer, the central lesson of that midterm is not Washington must work together. It was stop President Obama from doing things that we do not. You know, it's just like banging your head against the wall. The reason you can't work with people is because they have this notion that President Obama was stymied at every... President Obama absolutely could have changed the way that Washington worked. He could have done it. He was so popular, and he chose not to on every point.
Because it's not in his DNA.
You really believe that?
This whole thing is going the wrong way. It's supposed to start in the House because of the revenue bill.
Yes, they're absolutely... Yeah, why does
What are you
it...
going to say?
Well, we said we're trying to work together. We said we're trying to work together. Why don't we try to work together?
Baffling Bob Beckel.
I want to ask Kimberly, essentially what he's done is he's emptied the basket of a certain, of a group. What have we done to make sure that that doesn't get refilled?
Nothing.
No, nothing, because our borders aren't secure. So this is just going to be rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. The same thing over again. It is rewarding people who are breaking the law, who have gone around and said, you know what, you can stay here anyway because we had a baby here. This is not the right way to do it. You have to respect the laws of this country.
What would you do with the 5 million people?
You know what, Bob, there's a better way to do it than the president with the stroke of a pen saying, I'm going to give some kind of phony amnesty to put everyone in without a thoughtful,
All I'm
economic
asking you to do is answer my question.
Take the queue like the deli line. Get a number and get in line and
So,
do it right.
get out of the country, right? Get out of the country.
Listen to me. I would do this the right way. I would put the horse before the cart. I would secure the border and make sure that we don't have this problem repetitive, like a chronic illness. We need to make sure that it is shut down, and then we can establish a proper system. And any bill that raises revenue has to start in the House.
If you,
so we've been
it
doing
doesn't
this
take
for
revenue to do
joke.
immigration, but so you're saying the 5 million should stay here on different circumstances?
Or you know what would be really
I'm telling you that this is not the time or the approach, period.
What would be cool is to find a way maybe to diminish the amount of money that illegal immigrants send back to their country, because something tells me if you
Could you do that, though?
I don't know, I just thought of it now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I mean, if you were an emperor, I mean, maybe you could.
Yeah, maybe I could sign it.
If they're illegally at the country, they cannot allow to send U.S. currency overseas.
That's obviously happening. All right, much more to come next on Obama's immigration plan, so stay tuned.
Sirius XM is your ultimate sports radio. Big games. Tonight in the NHL, the Maple Leafs face off against the Lightning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 219. Then in the NFL, the Chiefs take on the Raiders at 8:30 on Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88. And in the NBA, the Sacramento Kings take on the Chicago Bulls at 10 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM NBA Radio, Sirius 207 XM 86. Sirius XM is where the games are played.
We report, you decide. The Fox News Channel, Sirius XM 114, and on the Sirius XM app for smartphones.
Siri, how many new emails do I have?
You have 7 new emails.
You can put a rider to the spending bill. I don't think you have to get caught into a shutting down the government battle with people. We went through that earlier in the program. You know, Congress has constitutional powers. They are explicitly given these powers to act as a check on executive power. It is the constitutional power of the majority leader alone. It would serve as a deterrent to a lawless president. they should use it. They should exercise the power of the purse. I agree that with Ted Cruz, Congress should not confirm a single nominee. Executive order